Chapter 2. The Silent Passenger and the Whispers of the Past. Rex Vance piloted the Galactic Wanderer away from Mars, his mood a mix of apprehension and a strange kind of excitement. The thought of carrying a secret that could shake the Galactic Council was unsettling, but also, in a way, invigorating. It broke the monotony of endless cargo runs. Alara Reese sat quietly in the co-pilot's seat, her expression thoughtful, her gaze fixed on the stars outside. "Are you always this quiet, Alara?" Rex asked, breaking the silence. His voice, usually gruff, had a softer edge to it now that they were alone in the vastness of space. Alara turned, a faint smile touching her lips. "Only when I'm trying to process something as significant as what we just learned, Captain. And when I'm in the presence of someone who hates alien music as much as you do." Rex grunted, a sound that might have been a laugh. "Good. Least we agree on something. So, you got the details on this Veritas protocol yet?" Alara nodded, bringing up a data pad. "Partially. The Federation has been working on this in extreme secrecy. It's an encrypted data chip, small, barely larger than my thumb. The information on it, it's supposed to reveal the true history of the Regulation Wars and the role of the Libertonians." "I figured as much," Rex said, his jaw tightening. "That museum exhibit was a pile of lies. The Libertonians were never those warmongering monsters the Council paints them to be. My old man, he used to tell me stories, real stories passed down from his grandparents, about how the Libertonians were scholars, artists, philosophers. They lived for peace, not war." "That's what our preliminary research suggests too, Captain," Alara confirmed, her eyes wide with a sense of wonder. "The official Council archives show them as aggressive, power-hungry. But hidden texts, found in ancient human and even some lesser-known alien archives, tell a different tale. They speak of a Libertonian civilization that valued truth and emotional connection above all else. They were never conquerors." "So why the big lie?" Rex asked, steering the ship with practiced ease through a crowded space lane filled with the slow-moving hulks of alien freighters. Alara hesitated, looking around as if the empty cockpit could hide eavesdroppers. "That's what the Veritas protocol is supposed to explain. Our agents believe it holds undeniable proof that the Council's narrative of the Regulation Wars is a fabrication, a propaganda tool designed to discredit the Libertonians and perhaps to justify something even more sinister." "Sinister, like what?" "We don't know yet," Alara admitted, her voice low. "But the fact that the Council is so keen on suppressing any information about the Libertonians, and that our own Federation commanders are risking everything to send this data chip through a rogue space trucker, it suggests the stakes are incredibly high, potentially galactic-level implications." Rex let that sink in. Galactic-level implications. He was just a space trucker. He hauled goods, dodged pirates, and listened to old Earth music. Now he was a key player in a potential galactic conspiracy. "All right, so what's the plan? Where are we taking this thing?" Alara pulled up a star map on the main display. "The coordinates lead to a neutral system, far from any major Council-controlled space. It's a small, uninhabited planet called XYLOS-7. There's a hidden research facility there, managed by a small group of independent historians and scientists who have also been questioning the Council's narrative. They are expecting us, but only with a specific authentication code." "A hidden research facility on an uninhabited planet," Rex repeated. "Sounds like a vacation home for trouble. What kind of authentication code?" "A very specific series of musical notes from a pre-contact human composition," Alara said, her eyes twinkling slightly. "It's from a piece called Jupiter, the Bringer of Jollity, part of Gustav Holst's The Planet Suite." Rex raised an eyebrow. "Classical? Seriously, not exactly my usual jam, but at least it's human. Good. Wouldn't trust a Xeno with the key to anything important." "They specifically chose a human musical sequence because they believe only independent human space truckers, who cherish such cultural artifacts, would be trustworthy enough to find it," Alara explained. "It's a very niche form of security." As they spoke, the Galactic Wanderer continued its journey. The ship's automated systems were efficient, but Rex preferred to stay at the helm, his hands on the controls. He liked the feel of the ship, the hum of its engines, the silent vastness of space. It was his domain, his comfort zone. A few hours later, the ship's sensors pinged. "Unknown vessel approaching," the ship's AI announced in a calm synthetic voice. Rex immediately tensed. "Identify yourself," he barked into the comms. "No reply." The vessel, a sleek dark ship with no recognizable markings, was closing fast. "They're not responding, Captain," Alara said, her voice taut with alarm. "Their energy signatures are strange. Not typical Federation, not typical Council, it could be a scout ship." "Scout ship for what?" Rex muttered, his hand hovering over the evasive maneuver controls. "Hold on, Alara, this could get bumpy." He engaged evasive thrusters, sending the Galactic Wanderer into a sudden jolt. The unknown ship mirrored his movements with terrifying precision. Its speed was remarkable, far beyond what any standard Council or Federation scout ship could achieve. "They're trying to disable our engines," Alara shouted, looking at the tactical display. "Energy readings indicate a targeted pulse weapon." "Not on my watch," Rex snarled. He pushed the ship to its limits, weaving through an asteroid field that appeared on their long-range scanners. His decades of experience as a space trucker, navigating treacherous celestial bodies and evading pirates, kicked in. He made the Galactic Wanderer dance among the rocks, the unknown ship struggling to keep up. A blinding flash erupted near their stern. The ship shuddered violently. "Shields are holding but barely," Alara reported, gripping her seat. "That was too close." "They're good," Rex conceded, sweat beading on his forehead. "Too good for just a scout ship. Someone powerful wants this data chip." Suddenly the unknown ship pulled back, its engines flaring. It didn't pursue them further, into the denser part of the asteroid field. "They're disengaging, Captain," Alara exclaimed, a mix of relief and confusion in her voice. "Why?" Rex wondered aloud. He watched the dark vessel disappear as quickly as it had appeared. "They had us. Why pull back?" A moment later, a new signal appeared on their comms. It was faint, distorted, but unmistakably a human voice. "Captain Vance, this is a warning. Don't trust the Council. They know." The signal cut off abruptly, replaced by static. Rex and Alara exchanged bewildered glances. "Who was that?" Alara whispered. "I don't know," Rex replied, his mind racing, "but it sounds like someone on the inside warning us, and it confirms what we suspected. The Council does know about this, or at least some part of it does." The encounter left them both shaken. The journey to Xylos 7 suddenly felt a lot more dangerous. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat, every distant star a watchful eye. They continued their course, but the carefree atmosphere of Chapter 1 was gone, replaced by a palpable tension. Rex checked his weapon systems, something he rarely did on a routine cargo run. The Galactic Wanderer had a few old laser cannons, mainly for deterring pirates, not for engaging high-tech pursuit ships. Alara, recovering from the shock, began to analyze the distorted message. "I might be able to trace that signal, Captain. It was very faint, but there might be a residue." "Do it," Rex ordered. "Any information we can get on who's after us, and who's trying to help us, could be vital." As Alara worked, Rex reflected on his choice. He had taken this mission for tax breaks and free travel. Now it felt like he was caught in the middle of a galactic power struggle, with unknown enemies and shadowy allies. He glanced at the data chip, secured in a hidden compartment near his console. The Veritas Protocol. He had to get it to XYLOS 7, not just for the Federation, but for himself, for the truth. The journey continued through the vast, dark expanse of space. Hours turned into days. Rex and Alara maintained a vigilant watch, taking turns sleeping in short, uneasy shifts. Every distant flicker of light, every anomalous sensor reading, sent a jolt of adrenaline through them. They were alone, two humans in a small ship, carrying a secret that powerful entities wanted to keep buried. One evening, as Rex was on watch, a faint, almost imperceptible signal registered on his long-range comms. It was a rhythmic pulse, barely above the ambient space noise. He filtered out the static, trying to make sense of it. Suddenly, Alara, who had been resting in a nearby bunk, sprang awake. "Captain, did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Rex asked, his hand already on the comms console. That rhythm, it's like a heartbeat, a very slow, deliberate heartbeat," she said, her eyes wide. "It's a biological signal, Captain. Very old, very faint." Rex listened closely. She was right. It wasn't random static. It was a pattern, a repeating, almost musical rhythm. It felt ancient, like something that had resonated across light years for eons. "Where's it coming from?" Rex asked, activating the ship's deep space scanners. Alara quickly worked at her console. "It's coming from nowhere, or rather everywhere. It's a diffuse signal, spread out across a vast nebula. But there's a focal point, a system deep within that nebula, uncharted, almost completely hidden from our sensors." "An uncharted system in a hidden nebula," Rex muttered. Sounds like a perfect place for something the council wants to keep secret. It's not just a signal, Captain, Alara said, her voice filled with awe. It's incredibly complex, like a language, a musical language. Suddenly, Rex remembered something from his pre-contact music collection. He had a data chip with ancient folk songs and lullabies from different cultures on Earth. One of them was an old lullaby, almost forgotten, from a remote indigenous tribe. He had stumbled upon it once while sorting his collection, and found its rhythm oddly comforting. He activated his personal music player, and selected the ancient lullaby. The faint, almost primeval hum of the song filled the cockpit, and as it played, the rhythmic signal from the nebula intensified, resonating with the ancient Earth tune. It's a call, Alara whispered, her face pale. This signal, it's a response to a specific human frequency. It's not just a signal, Captain. It's an invitation. An invitation to what? Rex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. To the heart of the nebula, Alara replied, pointing to the star map, to the origin of that heartbeat. I believe this is connected to the Libertonians, to their true history, and maybe to their survival. Rex felt a chill run down his spine. The Veritas Protocol was one thing, but this was something else entirely. A hidden race, a lost civilization communicating through music across the void. It was insane, and yet it made a strange kind of sense. The Libertonians were known for their love of art and philosophy, not war. The coordinates, Rex said, his voice firm. Can you pinpoint the source? Alara's fingers flew across her console. Yes, Captain. It's incredibly difficult, but the resonance with your music is helping. I've got a lock. There's a planet in that system, a gas giant. But orbiting it, there's something else, something massive. It's cloaked. Rex looked at the star map. A cloaked object, massive, orbiting a gas giant in an uncharted nebula, sending out a musical signal that resonated with ancient human lullabies. This wasn't just a delivery mission anymore. This was a discovery. Change of plans, Alara, Rex declared, his eyes gleaming with a newfound purpose. We're taking a detour. We're going to the heart of that nebula. We're going to find out what that signal is, and who's sending it. Alara looked at him, her initial fear replaced by a spark of scientific curiosity. Are you sure, Captain? This is uncharted, potentially very dangerous territory. Sure as my name's Rex Vance, he grinned. And sure as that council is lying through its teeth, if this signal is from the real Libertonians, then maybe they can help us expose the truth, or at least give us some answers. He adjusted the ship's course, the coordinates now pointing towards the shimmering, distant nebula. The Galactic Wanderer hummed, cutting through the void. The rhythmic heartbeat signal grew stronger, guiding them deeper into the unknown.